Dog attacks are a large problem in the U.S., nationwide, and also worldwide. It's common thought that dog attacks are normally done by vicious breeds or larger dogs like Doberman Pinschers, Alaskan Malamutes, and Pit Bulls. But they're not the only ones that attack. There are also reports of smaller dogs such as Dachshunds, which are 8 to 10 pounds, attacking and killing their owners, attacking and killing small children. Also, family dogs like Labrador Retriever and Collies are also known to attack and kill. And the way the media portrays dog attacks is, it leads you to believe that the only dogs that are attacking are these vicious breeds. So society is trained to believe that these dogs are vicious and they're the only ones that are attacking. Most people are really oblivious to the laws around them that affect their dogs and their pets. I'm going to talk to you today about BSL, which I've dealt with firsthand, breed-specific legislation. I've dealt with firsthand because I volunteer with Bama Bully Rescue, which is an Alabama rescue for pit bulls and other bulldogs. I see firsthand the way people react to pit bulls and the bias that just pours from them on how these dogs are, they think that they are naturally dangerous. So I'm going to tell you today about breed-specific legislation, more specifically what it is, how it affects your community, and if it's effective. First off, BSL, breed-specific legislation, is a law or a restriction for a certain breed of a domesticated animal, usually a dog, in a city or a community. They're not adopted statewide as a state law, but it's infectious. Once one city starts using breed-specific legislation, it spreads. For example, Toledo, Ohio, you are only allowed to own one pit bull, which is considered a vicious breed. And when you own a pit bull, you also have to have another larger insurance liability policy on top of your regular homeowner's insurance or renter's insurance. You have to have that extra insurance because your dog is vicious and it's known to attack. In New Mexico, it has been adopted just about statewide in all of the cities. They have breed-specific legislation against pit bulls that make them completely illegal. You are not allowed to own them, and if a pit bull is found, it is automatically impounded and destroyed. The way this affects your community and where you live now is basically that it encourages discrimination. Like I said earlier, you were trained by the media to believe that these dogs are vicious because that's all that they report. When they don't really report the facts on pit bull attacks. The fact is, in Alabama, there have been 6 fatal pit bull attacks since 1912. 1912 was actually the first reported pit bull attack. There could have been more before then, but between 1912 and 1982, there were absolutely no fatal pit bull attacks. That's 70 years without a fatal attack by a vicious breed. And also, the labeling pit bull is very vague. In England, they were originally breeded with Staffordshire Terriers and American Bull Terriers. Most of the time in the breed-specific legislation, Staffordshire Terriers and American Bull Terriers are not always mentioned. Instead, it says pit bull. So when you're talking of a pit bull, if you have even the smallest amount of any type of bulldog breed, it's considered a pit bull. So you could have a mostly Labrador Retriever dog that had somewhere in its genealogy a bulldog, and it would automatically be reported to you as a pit bull attack. If you go online and look up pit bull attacks, you'll see the way they have it listed is Labrador Retriever or pit bull, Collie or pit bull, because like I said, you only have to have the smallest amount of bulldog for it to be considered a pit bull attack. And when it's reported to you, it's not a Labrador Retriever, it's a pit bull. And breed-specific legislation is easy for the state because it absolves the owner. The owner is not responsible for the way that their dogs act because it's all down to breed. It's a good breed or it's a bad breed. So it's easy to blame the dog instead of blaming the owner for not properly socializing and training their dog. And whether or not it's been effective can easily be seen in the dog bites and dog attack reports. Dog attacks have continued to rise ever since breed-specific legislation has become popular in banning pit bulls or restricting the ownership of pit bulls. Dog attacks still continue to rise. The Netherlands, the UK, and Spain are all reversing their breed-specific legislations because it has not been effective. It has not reduced the number of dog attacks. The number of dog attacks is still continuing to grow, and they are breeds that are considered non-vicious that are attacking people. In Denver, Colorado, and Aurora, Colorado, they are some of the most strict breed-specific legislation. They enforce that very strictly. And they've stopped recording dog attacks. Ever since they've released the breed-specific legislation, I guess I shouldn't say they stopped. They now record it in a different manner. And the way they record it, the output is always a vicious pit bull attack. Even though in Denver, Colorado, if a pit bull is seen, it is shot on sight. It is not impounded, it is not destroyed, it is shot immediately. So it doesn't promote proper training for the owners. It promotes irresponsibility. It promotes the idea that I own a dachshund, an 8-pound dog, obviously is not going to hurt anybody. I have a dachshund, and I worry more about my dachshund biting somebody than I do my pit bull. So it promotes, irresponsibility in the owners. So now that you know what breed-specific legislation is and how it affects you and whether or not it's been effective, you can understand more what the media is reporting to you, and you can make your own decision. From my research and my experience as a volunteer, breed-specific legislation is costly to impound the dogs and destroy them. It's costly. It doesn't promote proper dog care. Your owners that have non-vicious breeds are not training them. They're not socializing them. They're not taking them to the vet as they need to be taken to the vet. And a sick dog can attack somebody, just out of pain. So from my research, breed-specific legislation has not been effective. But now you can decide for yourself.